As we all know, public opinion on the trucker convoy is sharply divided. The Trudeau government and the mainstream media have gone to great lengths to vilify the truckers. And back in February, you said that you were, quote, proud of them.
That's right.
Has your opinion on the trucker convoy changed since? And is your support of the truckers a liability moving forward?
No and no. My position has not changed. I said at the very outset, before they even arrived, that I simultaneously stood with the law-abiding and peaceful truckers who were fighting for their livelihoods and liberties while condemning any individual who breaks the law, blocks critical infrastructure, or behaves badly. That is the position I took then. It's the position I take now. Now, Mr. Charest learned about the trucker convoy on CBC, like other Liberals, and he misrepresented them. He believes that I should be censored. He believes I should be cancelled from this leadership race and disqualified, in his words, because I don't share his Liberal viewpoint. That is the kind of cancel culture and censorship you would expect from Justin Trudeau, but instead we're getting it from this Liberal on this stage. And frankly, Mr. Charest, for you to talk about law and order is a little bit rich, given that your party, your Liberal Party, took $500,000 of illegal donations when you were the head of that party. The average trucker has more integrity in his pinky finger than you had in your entire scandal-plagued Liberal cabinet.
And on the Hill, I agree with Scott. This mess that we witnessed is the fault of Mr. Trudeau. But Mr. Poilievre, during that period, supported an illegal blockade. You cannot make laws and break laws and then say I will make laws for other people. I'm sorry, but that is a question of basic foundation and principle in my life.
You're out of time, sir.
Can I take a moment to lay to rest this accusation of being a Liberal? No, but please, bear with me. I fought the '95 referendum, and I'm in this race because I believe in the unity of the country. I think Western alienation has lasted long enough. And what I see there, I've seen in Quebec. And I ran in '95, I fought in the referendum, and I went to lead a coalition in Quebec of Federalists when there was no Conservative Party of Quebec, ladies and gentlemen, as is the case in British Columbia. And you know what? I was successful. We pushed back on that referendum, and Canada stayed united. And believe me, if I was able to fight back the separatists, it's not this guy here on the stage tonight that's going to intimidate me and stop me from defending Canada. That's for sure. That will never happen. Count on it. And yes, and during the period of the Great Recession, we did reduce income taxes, and Quebec's economy did better than the rest of the country and better than much of the world. Why? Because that was the Conservative thing to do, and we were successful in doing it. So, Pierre, please, stop lying.
Look, it's your record that was Liberal, Jean. You governed like a Liberal. When you raised the sales tax, not once, but twice. Then you bring in a fuel tax. And then you decide that gas prices are still not high enough, and you pile on a carbon tax. And then you raise income tax in the form of something you called a health tax. That is not Conservative, no matter what you call it. It's not your name as a party that was Liberal. It was your track record of more debt, higher taxes, and more expensive government that was Liberal, Mr. Charest. You can try to run from your record all you want. But the reality is, that's what you did when you were there. And it is not just your record on fiscal conservatism issues. You blocked shale gas development. Now you claim you've changed your mind. You brought in a long gun registry after we got rid of it, going after farmers and hunters instead of inner-city criminals. I could go down the list of all the Liberal policies that you brought in that you're trying to hide from today, but we don't have enough time to go through them all. I am a true Conservative. I've stood for the same things my entire life. I'm not just putting on temporarily a blue shirt to cover up a red shirt underneath it in order to take over the party.
Thank you, Mr. Poilievre. Let's go to you, Mr. Charest.
Well, we don't have to go down a long list. Why did you oppose the fact that I reduced income taxes? Yes, you were part of a government that opposed. You can't rewrite history, Pierre. You can't rewrite the
in
facts to
provincial
fit
politics.
your rhetoric.
I
You
wasn't in
were
the
in the House. You were part of the government that opposed the fact that I reduced income taxes.
What are you talking
yes
about?
or no?
No, I did not. I was not. I never commented on your
Okay,
income.
fine.
Frankly, Mr. Charest, you didn't cut income tax, so there was no income tax cut to oppose. You raised taxes. You raised consumption taxes.
Excuse me?
You raised health taxes. You raised every tax, and you canceled out any minuscule reductions that would otherwise have been realized.
If you can't
and
get
furthermore,
that right,
Furthermore, Mr. Charest,
if you can't get that right, how can you get the rest right?
Mr. Charest,
we reduced income taxes, and the credit rating agencies actually said that that's what allowed Quebecers to come through the Great Recession much better than anyone else. If you're ready to misrepresent those facts, what other facts are you?
You left Quebec the most indebted province in all of Canada. That is your record on finance. You raised the sales tax. No one will trust you in an election on inflation because you raised inflation when you raised the sales tax. I cut the GST. That's what the Harper government did. And if you take a minute to stop attacking the Harper government, which is the party that all of us are supposed to be part of, then maybe you would recognize all of the good that that man did for this country.
Thank you, Mr. Poilievre.
American-style politics with the division and the polarization, the hot button, the sloganism, the attack dog attacks, or we're going to stay Canadian. And we will be the Canadian Conservative Party that we should be and that we're destined to be and that they want us to be. A national party able to connect all parts of the country, whether it's Alberta, Quebec, or Ontario. That is what we're destined to be. So, no, we should not import American politics into this country. And we should stand for what we believe in and the values that we believe in as Canadians. And I will fight that style because for Canada, keep in mind, this type of politics, Americans may be able to survive. But for Canada, this type of politics will be extremely damaging to the fabric of the country. A country of regions, of languages, of diversity should not have to put up with American-style politics.
You know, if we're going to unite this country, we have to come clean. Mr. Charest needs to come clean with how much money he got from Huawei. We need to know the truth here. The Liberals are going to ask that. He's never told us how much he got paid. This is a company whose software and hardware has been banned from the 5G networks of 4 of the 5 I countries because of allegations, in many cases proven, that they have used it for espionage. Mr. Charest, how much money did you get from Huawei when you were working for them, either directly or indirectly? Just the number, please. How much? Just the number.
Can I?
Mr.
Are we
Charest.
talking about the company that Stephen Harper welcomed into
Just the
Canada
number, please. How
in
much?
2012?
How much, sir?
We're not on a student
How much?
council here, Pierre.
How much?
Pierre, this is not a student council, please.
How much? This is the security of our country, Mr. Charest. It's not a laughing matter. How much did you get from Huawei? Answer the question.
This is a company that was welcomed into Canada by
Well, then you
Stephen
shouldn't be
Harper
afraid to tell us
in
the truth about how much.
2012 for the telecommunications
How
companies.
How much?
And that's what Huawei
How
did.
much did you
Welcomed
take?
in by a conservative government.
How much did you
I am
take,
very
Mr.
proud of the fact that I
Mr.
also
Charest,
worked
how much?
to
Answer the
free
question.
the 2 Michaels and to bring them back home.
Oh,
and
right.
if you want evidence of that, ask the wife of Michael Kovrig,
Mr.
Dina
Poilievre,
Najibullah.
one at a time, please.
Huawei
One at a time.
paid you
Mr.
to free
Poilievre.
the 2 Michaels. Come on. You got some swampland to sell
Mr.
us in
Charest, if you
Florida,
can
too?
continue.
Come on.
Pierre Poilievre has said in French in Quebec, not elsewhere in the country, that if it goes to the Supreme Court of Canada, he will not speak on behalf of Canada. So, Pierre, this idea of freedom, is it real or is it a slogan?
It's real.
Okay. We're
Why won't you stand up for Canada? Why won't you stand up to the Supreme Court for those who are affected?
Gentlemen.
As I said at the outset, people feel like they're losing control of their lives. It could be the teenager sunk into depression because of 2 years separated from sporting and social activities. Or the trucker who, after being called a hero for 2 years delivering our products and services across the border without a vaccine, suddenly became a villain or a lawbreaker in the eyes of some Liberals. Or the 32-year-old living in his parents' basement because home prices has doubled. Or the single mom skipping meals so her kids don't have to. I'm running for Prime Minister to give these people back control of their lives by ending vaccine mandates so that people can make their own medical decisions, by tackling the inflationary deficits and taxes that have driven up the cost of living, and reining in the Bank of Canada back to its original mandate and also banning it from bringing in a central bank digital currency. I'm running for Prime Minister to restore economic freedom, but also freedom of expression so that people can speak clearly and openly without fear. I'm running for Prime Minister to make this the freest country on earth so you can take back control of your life.